Hey, what's up guys? It's Seth with 𝗪cie_𝗶𝗹. This is my first video, and I figured in this video I'd just talk about how I got into reselling and what that journey was like for me. So I live in Denver, Colorado, and I am 28 years old. So I think my reselling journey starts back at the beginning of college in a weird way, because I was playing this online game called RuneScape, and in that game my favorite thing to do was to flip. So I would wait until people sell items too low, and then I would take those items in game, of course, and sell them for higher. And I was pretty that became like a huge habit for me, and I became pretty good at that in the game, and I did that for like 6 years. So like most mornings I would get up and I would check my flips and see what happened overnight. So I made a really solid habit of that. And I think there were thoughts every once in a while to think about how could I do this in real life? That would be the dream, but had no clue how to do that at all. There were a couple times where I tried to buy snowboarding gear on Craigslist and try and flip those. Craigslist is just not really the right selling platform, and I think I ended up breaking even or something. I bought a snowboarding jacket and a snowboard, and it just wasn't that great. So I never had the motivation to keep trying, and I had no clue how to do it. 2019 rolls around, and it's Mother's Day, and I'm in the Springs visiting my mom with my wife now, Christiana, and my little brother comes back from college, and he starts talking about how he's making an extra $600 a month selling on Depop. I'm like, whoa, what is this? You can actually sell in real life? Had no clue about that. So he ended up taking me out to a thrift store and ended up buying 10 items and listed those and just sat and waited. I wasn't super bought into it. And finally, after a month, someone bought a Vans t-shirt from me for $7. And that was my first sale. It's kind of proof of concept that it actually works. I think I only made $2 on it. So that was my first flip, but I was wondering why am I not getting more sales? What's going on? And my brother was like, you gotta list more than 10 items. You gotta put a little bit more into this. So I'm like, okay. So I went to YouTube Academy and really put my heart into it, trying to learn how to do this better, how to understand what sells, what's actually gonna sell. And eventually I came across this video of a Depop seller, and she was talking about how she makes extra money by buying items from AliExpress. And then she repurposes them and takes good pictures of them, and is just able to reorder when she's sold out. So I'm like, heck, man, that sounds fun. I'll give this a go. And eventually, at the start, it was hard to take good pictures of stuff, because the lighting's always wrong, and I'm a guy, I'm not really even into jewelry. But I was able to eventually find 35 items that I could just restock and just focus on selling those on Depop. And there was a point where I was refereeing soccer at the time, and I had literally sold more items on Depop that I could just reorder when they go out of stock than I even made reffing the game. And I think at that point I was like, oh, okay, this can be like actual income, like maybe not like Lamborghini income, you know, but like good income for someone who is in grad school working part-time, you know. Let's see, so where was I? Later in that year, I decided to try eBay out. eBay was cool because you could actually do more product research to see, okay, like this is how many are listed, this is how many have sold in a 3-month period. I can have a better idea of what is going to be profitable. So I did eBay and Depop together for the rest of 2019. I focused a lot on building up my inventory on eBay. And by the end of 2019, I was getting to a point where, like, even though I was in school and I was working part-time as a soccer referee and I was selling, I was getting to a point where, like, I didn't feel the need to ref as much anymore. Reselling was my thing and I liked it a lot. But I was in school and studying to be a counselor. So my internship was coming up at the start of 2020. And we all know how 2020 went. March came about and the, you know, I can't say what that is, but the sickness came. And my internship was suspended for a while. Like, we couldn't do the internship. We were put on like a 2-month break. So at that point I had around 700 listings on eBay and still the necklaces and jewelry that was selling on Depop. So I figured, you know, like, why not just give being a full-time reseller a try? I'm gonna be home for a couple months anyways. I really have nothing that I have to do. I can't ref. I'd quit Chick-fil-A at that point, like, completely. So why not just resell completely? And I did it, and like, it was such a night and day difference for like how fun it was, because I feel like I was at internship and I'd come home and like it just was not a match for me, I feel like, because it just felt like with counseling, it just wasn't tapping into the fact that I like to like flip things. I don't know how better to say it. I feel like if I work hard with flipping, I can work hard and I'm smart with flipping, I can continue to make more and do more. So within a couple of months I decided, you know, like, why continue with internship when I know that selling is what I want to do full time? And like, I was making good money on eBay. I was enjoying it a ton. So when things started to go a little bit back to normal, I ended up not even going back and just doing eBay full time. Then August came around and I heard some about Amazon FBA. And I'm sure you guys have probably heard of Amazon FBA, but that's a program where you can send your items into Amazon and they do your customer service, they do your shipping, and they have a listing in place so that you don't have to take pictures for every single item that you send in, which is great, because if you guys have ever had an eBay inventory, most of the time you have to take pictures and like store your items, and that's not extremely scalable. So I decided, you know, like, let's try to list like 200 profit a week on Amazon and just see how that goes. And I was going to garage sales and stuff like that, and I was finding it was like really easy to hit that. Like, it was not hard to find that. I was just going with the Amazon seller app, just scanning barcodes, mostly of used books. And then I came across 𝗰𝗲𝗹𝗠𝗃. You guys might have heard of him. And I ended up taking his book business blueprint course. And that helped a ton. Really like started scaling up my book business. And by the beginning of 2021, I was making a profit on Amazon. At the first couple months, like, it's really difficult to like make a profit within like a month or 2 months of starting Amazon, because you don't have that inventory and you're spending money on inventory and you're spending money on shipping all the items in and fees and subscriptions, and so you have to build that snowball. So that's what I was doing. I was building that snowball, and I think at my max I had around 2,800 active books, and things were going really well. Things were going better than eBay. I was continuing to do eBay, but I was doing a lot less close. But I started to transition to do mostly Amazon at that point. So the beginning of 21 was really great. I loved scouting books. It was a bunch of fun. Unfortunately though, restock limits happened in, I think it was May of this year. And at that point I had around 2,700 active inventory. And they're like, okay, you have 1,500 slots now. So that makes it difficult to run a book business when, like, my goal at that point was to like scale to 5,000 books. And basically, I think if you sell on Amazon for a while, you have to realize that things aren't always going to go according to plan, and you have to change things. Or you can just quit. You can just quit too. So from there, I'm like, okay, like, what are the other ways to make money? Like, should I merchant fulfill my books? Should I sell to book buyback companies? Should I do wholesale for other Amazon sellers? Should I ramp up eBay? Should I try retail arbitrage? Should I try online arbitrage? Like, what's the best way to go about this? And I realized that retail arbitrage is the thing. I learned about it, and I realized that if I list faster moving items that people are basically more wanting on Amazon, my restock limits are going to go up. So the idea at that point was to find some profitable items that moved quick for retail arbitrage. And once I am able to list on Amazon again, once I have space, once enough books have sold, I can start putting faster moving profitable items into my store. My limits will get raised as well. So that's kind of what happened. But then eventually I realized that retail arbitrage was, I think I just liked it better, and it was more scalable. Like, I was able to find items that you can buy over and over again. Like, you just go to the grocery section and it's there once it sells out. Whereas with books, you had to like keep going back to your sources and keep finding those books. I still like books, but there's other things in Amazon besides books. So from there, started really getting into that, going to a lot of Walmarts, trying to find replenishable items, and been working at retail arbitrage and switching over to online arbitrage as well since then. And things have been turning around since then. May was definitely difficult because you have I had 2,800 inventory and the limit was 1,500. So couldn't send much of anything else in at that point. But eventually I was able to start sending retail arbitrage stuff in and online arbitrage stuff in. I learned a lot from Hustle Buddies about how to find replenishable items and how to do some online arbitrage. I also learned a lot from Fields of Profit and Flips for Miles. Learned a lot from those people, and things have been going a lot better now, and feel like half the time I can't keep the stuff in stock that I have in my store. So I think that's probably it for this video. That's my journey of how I've been reselling. I probably left out some things, but looking forward to connecting with you guys, and if you guys have any questions about anything, anything you're working on, I'd love to talk with you about it, and hope you have a great day. See ya.